gompieno re etela mongwe wa batho bao ba neng ba tshwaeditswe ke mogare wa COVID-19. Tsena mmogo le rona mo lenaneong la COVID Survivors.
My name is Motshekgwa Nkabinde. I'm the Acting Communication Officer of Bojanala Sub-District 1. I would like to take this opportunity today to share my story of surviving COVID-19. As we all know that there's been a serious outbreak of this pandemic worldwide, especially in our country. There was an outbreak of COVID-19 in one of the police stations that I am servicing as a communication officer at Moinwe SAPS, whereby a number of my colleagues tested positive for COVID-19. On the 17th of June, I decided to also go for the test after I discovered that a number of my colleagues also tested positive for COVID-19. If my memory serves me well, it was a very cold day. I was there queuing, and then finally my turn came, and then I tested. We were then told by one of the health practitioners that we have to wait for 3 days at most for our test results. I went home. Whilst waiting, I was still at home. I remained at home until finally I received my test results on the 21st. I remember I received my first results. I received them telephonically. I remember I was there. I just finished taking a bath. I couldn't believe it. And then I sat down for a while. And then the first thing that came to my mind is that do not panic. Because I heard that when you panic, anxiety, it actually weakens your immune system. And then I decided to collect myself, making sense of the news that has just been broken to me. And then suddenly I just decided to make a few calls because I couldn't believe it. Not that I'm saying that I'm immune to the pandemic. Honestly speaking, no one is immune to the pandemic, irrespective of your socio-economic status, your gender. No one is immune to this pandemic. And then the following day, on Monday, I received the confirmation results that indeed I have tested positive for COVID-19. And then they made an arrangement that I be transported to Westball Isolation Center, which is situated in Orkney. So that's when I began my isolation journey for 7 days. The thought of me dying never crossed my mind because I told myself I'm going to try to be as positive as possible because I was keeping myself focused. I brought my books because I'm currently studying towards an honors degree in integrated organizational communication, and then I made an arrangement with my boss that I can still continue to do my job while still at isolation. The objective was to keep my mind, focused on something because I had to refrain from stressing. The moment I started stressing, and then I think about something very positive in order for me to be focused. At the moment when I received my test results, I was with my daughter. I have a 17-year-old daughter, and then my twin sister as well as my niece. So my daughter was just standing next to me when I received the results, and then she was scared, and then she just decided to distance herself from me because we are sharing the same bedroom. And then she went to put on a mask, and then she didn't want to be close to me. So to me, I took into cognizance that this thing is highly contagious, and teenagers, they are very knowledgeable. So I took it light, but then I was worried that I had infected them. So that's when it was decided by the health practitioners that they go for quarantine themselves, my family, because they are my close contact. Remember, everyone who's sharing the same room with me is your close contact. So whilst I was at isolation, they were at quarantine. You know what, when I underwent my second test, I thought to myself, since the doctor told me that, because whilst I was still at isolation, the doctor told me that this virus, it only stays in your body for 7 days. So I told myself that there's no way that I'm going to test positive again. I can feel it. I think my instincts and my faith also told me that no, this thing is gone. It's gone. We just had a touch of COVID-19 because I was asymptomatic the whole process. I never showed any symptoms like the coughing, the chest pains, because other people will tell you that they don't have a sense of taste, a sense of smell. I never experienced any of the symptoms. Unlike my colleagues, even the people that I was sharing the ward with, they also had those symptoms that we read about. So when I underwent for my second test, testing. That was a week after I came back from isolation. I only stayed for 7 days at the isolation center. So I remember I was very relaxed. I was standing there in the queue waiting to be tested. So 4 days after, I received my test results by SMS, and then they stated that it's undetected. So because it's a medical term, I was a bit confused. So there is a hotline number that they also provide you from Lancet, and then I phoned that number because I wanted to understand what does it mean when it says that my test results are undetected. And they said, no, it means that you are negative. I was even shouting. I said, thank God, thank you God, because I was eager to go back to work, and also to put the minds of the people that I'm staying with at ease, because I'm sharing the house also with my 62-year-old mother. She was away by the time I received my test results, but then she came back. So I just wanted to put her mind at ease. So to me, I was very jubilant, honestly speaking, because finally I beat the pandemic, the pandemic that most people deem not beatable, but then now I managed to beat it. To be honest, it's just so sad. It's very unfortunate that there are still people who doesn't take this thing serious. What I can say to them is that this thing is real, this thing is here, this thing is existing. I know from experience. Once you have tested positive, don't panic. Like I said earlier on, the more you panic, the more you weaken your immune system. So I just want to encourage them to stay as positive as possible. If you've never been positive in your life, once you have tested positive, it's your chance to be as positive as you have never been. And then for those who still take this pandemic light, I just want to say to you that this thing is real, and then make sure that when you are in a public domain, you wear your mask. Make sure that you maintain that 1.5 meter social distance. Make sure that constantly let it be a routine that you sanitize your hands. You wash them with soap, and then also sanitize your hands. It's very important. Even at your home, use the detergents that are available, that we have, like the Jik, we have the Domestos, we also have the Handy Andy. Those are available detergents that we can use to sanitize our houses. Normally we call it spring cleaning. Do it as often as possible, because normally we do it like maybe twice a month or maybe once. That one, I suggest that you do it every week. You do the spring cleaning. The objective is to decontaminate the house. You understand? Because if you don't decontaminate the spaces where we are residing, the virus is going to thrive there. So it's very important to stay safe.